Starting and finishing from the fish monument in Pooley Bridge, the Ullswater Way is a fabulous 20-mile walk around what many to consider the most beautiful lake in England. However, in this video I'm doing part of it, which I'll explain more later. My walk takes me from Pooley, as it was historically known, in times gone by, a fishing village. For now though, my walk snakes its way uphill through Waterfoot Park. Keep an eye out for our native red squirrels and onwards to Maiden Castle. An Iron Age farmstead, some say dates back to 700 to 500 BC. Not that I can see much of it today, given the current weather conditions. Well, I might look a bit of a state at the minute. I've just been caught in a heavy downpour. Wasn't expecting any showers today, to be honest. I did pack a waterproof jacket, not trousers. I thought if I was likely to encounter any rain, it'd only be brief and light, but sod's law, that was a lot heavier than I was anticipating looking at the weather forecasts. And I forgot my cap, so oh well, I'm not made of sugar, I'm not going to melt in it, and I needed a shower anyway. But I tell you what, it's muggy today on this walk. Very, very humid. It's not overly warm, I must admit. It's a lot hotter elsewhere in the UK at the moment, particularly in the south, but less so here up north. Northern England, at least in Cumbria. Probably look like a trench rat. Indeed I do. No matter, that's Cumbrian weather for you. That said, over the years I've managed to capture some stunning footage about this part of the Ullswater Valley for my award-winning BBC documentaries. And I thought I'd share some of the scenes with you now, so you can appreciate just how breathtaking this landscape can be at a given time, on a given day, and in a given season. Well, I'm currently on the stretch that I like, scouting the flanks of Gowbarrow. Onwards from there it's down to Aira, the beautiful waterfall. But one reason I like this stretch is because you're high up and you get some cracking views. I've only met 3 people so far today on this stretch of the Ullswater Way. It's nice. but given the weather, probably not surprising. But I'm enjoying it. It's good. And we're going to drop down to Aira soon. And there's a very special tree I'd like to introduce to you through my friend April Windle. It's a clip from my film I produced about Helvellyn, and she'll explain more about why this tree is very, very special. Though, admittedly, I haven't seen it with my own eyes, but I have been told recent storms, unfortunately, have led to the tree being blown down, which is sad.
Gowbarrow Park, and it is a lovely site that is located on the northern shores of Ullswater, just to the east of the National Trust's Aira Force woodland. It's a fantastic example of one of the Lake District's pasture woodlands, which is one of Britain's priority habitats. This tree is a pollarded wych elm. It is easily the crown jewel of the Lake District. It's so special. It really is an antique that sits in the landscape, but it isn't its antiquity that makes it so special. It's all of the life that this tree supports, in particular its lichen interest. This here is known as the lungs of the forest, or Loberia pulmonaria, and it is a species that you find on very, very old trees in old woods and is characteristic of clean air. This species is one that we have an international responsibility for, which means that the UK has over 10% of the global population of this species in these woods. And over the years, we have seen significant declines of this species across the Lake District due to pollution, such as that coming from cars, from agriculture, and from industry. Now, lichens inhabit every type of environment. You can see them from the lake shores to the tops of the mountains, and they add so much colour and texture and biological integrity to the world around us. I feel hugely concerned in terms of the increased number of visitor pressures within the Lake District. These habitats are so incredibly sensitive to environmental pollution. However, these habitats and the species within them are there for people to see and for people to enjoy. So I'm such an advocate for people visiting these environments, but it all just needs to be done so incredibly sensitively. This species here is known as the sunburst lichen, or Xanthoria parietina. And when you start to see this one creeping in to the environment, you start thinking what's going on in terms of its quality, because this species here is very tolerant of nitrogen pollution, and you also tend to find it in massive abundance along trees that border the roads. From the life that grows on these trees to the trees that are situated in the landscape, all of these elements of the natural world have a really important story to tell. But unfortunately, most people don't even know about their existence, and how are they meant to care and want to protect something if they don't even know that it exists?
Well, hopefully you found that interesting, with April Windle talking about the lovely old tree. I can confirm, sadly, it has fallen down in a storm, and the National Trust have put a fence up around it and some props for what parts of the tree that are still standing stay stable, and hopefully those precious lichens and mosses continue to thrive and survive. The weather got the best of me the other day, so I caught the bus from Aira Force and headed back to home in the Eden Valley. But I'm back now and paid a visit to Aira Force, which is always a delight. A beautiful waterfall, very popular attraction with visitors. It was nice and quiet when I went today. And now I'm into Gowbarrow Park, carrying on for Glenridding, the end of today's walk and this stretch of the Ullswater Way. Well, that about concludes this first leg of the Ullswater Way. I'm sat on a lovely bench by Ullswater looking into Glenridding, and across the way I can see the inn on the lake where me and my wife got married many years ago. But it's a canny spot here. It's a good trail. Keep your eyes peeled in a couple of months for the next leg, because I'm going to do that in a different season. I think I'll do that in autumn when all the leaves turn on the trees. It's just as spectacular as it is now in the summer. But yeah, I hope you found the video interesting. I'm going to head into Glenridding now, get myself a sarnie and a drink and a bus back home to the Eden.